Okay, so in this video, we'll be looking into more examples with string manipulation, okay, or parsing strings. So let's say okay, uh, we have a person or we have data such as last name, okay, Cruz, middle name is equal to, let's say, Della, first name 1, then let's say yahang birthday. So February 24, 1997. Then address. Okay, basic nga mga information about a person. Poblasyon. Ano ba yung poblasyon ng Maramag? Anyway, this is just an example. Maramag, Bukidnon. Okay? So let's say you are tasked to first to display a birthday, okay, or no? Ano may birthday? Ang yang age, okay? Di ba? Now, age usually changes every year, okay? Now, going forward with later on kung sa inyong course, you'll deal with databases, information system, okay? Age, you do not store that permanently, but it is computed, okay? So it's a derived data, okay? Aha man na siya gikan, that is actually derived from a result of today's year, okay? And iyahang birth year. Okay? So, saan tawa na, 'di ba? We could simply, let's say, write age here. Then unsa man ang iyang age karon? Okay, 2021 minus 1997. Okay, so 24 na siya. So we could simply do that. But what if, okay, you are trying to store this, okay, in a database, kibale, the next year, okay, what will happen to those information which pertains to the age of persons, okay? Dire usara gani, what if thousands of records na dayon? So, tagsa-tagsaon na po to nimo update. So, dili na siya kuan. That's a problem, okay? So, what we want is to compute that, okay? Now, how do we do that, okay? We approximation lang, okay? Let's just approximate the age in between years lang, okay? So, di na nato kwentahon yun ang pila ka days, ingana, okay? So, one way is, okay, your first problem is, saan na to na pagkuha ang current nga year, okay? So, you could not just simply write in code age is equals to 2021 minus 1997. So, parehas ra pa natong earlier natong nga problema kay what if 2022 na. So, ang problema na po dayon is we are going to rewrite our code nga 2022 na pod, okay? So, there's actually a Python module for that, okay? So, what we can do is ingani. So, from date time, okay, mo na pangalan sa tong module or sa tong library, import date, okay? So then we could have this line of code, current date is equal to, okay, we call this, okay, that object that today nga method niya, okay, or function. So you could actually get the year from this, okay, by having it ingani. Current year is equal to current, we should change this to date na lang, okay, current date dot year, okay. So makuha na nato na. If we're going to print current year, so kana 2021, okay, sakto. So our next problem is how do we extract this information nga ingani man na. We could not just simply, okay, deduct this with this, kay kanina tong kinahanglan, okay. So we are going first is you observe your data, okay, or the data at hand, you'll notice nga ang year is followed by a comma, and there's no other instance of comma. Okay, so normally we write dates like this. Okay, space 24, comma, space, then yung year. So remember atong topic atong finding, okay, or katong C position, di ba? Gamiton gyapon nato dere. So what we can do is we identify first the C. C stands for comma position here. Okay? So birthday, okay? Man atong gusto parse, okay? We're going to parse this data so that we get to achieve or extract the year. So birthday dot find. Okay? So matay butang dere. Pangitaon nato ang comma. And this line of code will retrieve the index, okay? It will retrieve the index. Kung ahanin na butang ang comma, then it's going to store that in our C position nga variable. Okay? So, with that, na-identify na nato. But how do we get? Okay? Unsaon nato ang diriday? How do we get this? Okay? So, unsa man? We are going to use a range. Okay? So, let's say B year. So, that would be your birth year. So, birthday. Okay? Gusto na to extract, di ba? If you're going to gusto na to we want to pinpoint. Okay? Aha man ta magsugod. Okay? Di ba? Why do we target this? Kay ato ang gusto himon is magsugod dayon ta pag human sa space, di ba, naaning comma. Okay? Then na space nga usa, dayon after ana, we expect that is the start of the character for our year. Okay? So pila man na, okay? Given that the C position is kani. Aha man ta magsugod, di ba? Ang first nga part diri is asa ta magsugod og extract. Okay? So that is C position, okay? Plus 2. Okay? Nga naman. Diha, morning C position. Okay? Then, plus 2, meaning 2 index after this. Okay? Index, kung asa nag-reside. So, 1, 2. So, diha ta magsugod. Okay? Aha man ta mahuman. Okay? So, actually, you could do it like this. Pwede na nga. Kay, mao naman ang iyang, di ba? Last naman dayon. Okay? The rest of the data here is your year. Okay? So actually doing this will be enough. Okay? So let's check. Okay? We're going to print B year. So dapat atong ma-extract ani is 1997. So going to clear this out. Going to print. Okay? So you get to see, nakuha na nato. So now, okay, we could then simply calculate the age programmatically. Current year, diba? We have already achieved that. Minus, okay, the year. Okay, let's try if mugana ni siya. So, clear this out. Okay, so natay error. Okay. So, you are trying to, okay, perform mathematical operation between an int and a string. Okay, asa man ang string ani, kani. Since you are technically just extracting a substring from this initial string here. So, you could simply solve that by casting that or converting that to int. Okay? So, let's try this out. Save. Run. Okay. It doesn't return any error, but we still didn't print that out to check. Pila yang edad. Okay? So, sakto. 24. Okay, so this is one practical application of parsing string. Okay, so now let's deal with katong different ways of formatting. Okay, output. Okay, so let's say you want to print, let's say ingani, hello Juan, okay, Dela Cruz, or pwede pa rin yan Juan D. Cruz. Okay, So, di ba, usually di na to ginasulat. Kaya sometimes we do not write the entire middle name. Middle initial is enough. So, middle name, okay? Ang entire name niya in sa iyang middle name. Then ang initial is the first letter. So, let's just consider this as namagay special consideration ka ng mga dela. Okay, so let's just treat this as okay, a singular. Okay, as you can see here, singular nga middle name. Okay, kanang mga dela naman na sila lahi-lahi good. Okay? So let's say ingani to gusto. Then okay, you are 24 saman sada isulatan eh. Okay, you were born in or on, I think it's enough. You're born in February 24, 1997 and sama to pwede isulatan eh. And you are now 24 ba? Okay, 24 years old. Okay, so medyo taas-taas ng string. So what I have taught you, okay, before is nga ninyo approach, di ba? Print, okay, sa may mga constant ani nga dili mabago, okay, or ang mga area diri nga nag-base sa mga variables, okay, so kani iyahang name, iyahang birthday o kani that should be now. Okay, so could write hello space, okay, sama tayong butang iyahang first name, okay, first name plus space na pod para mag-separate yung first o iyahang middle initial. Okay, so to get the middle initial, okay, by the way, siguro we create another variable here, dali naman kayo. Okay, it would just be middle name, okay, then ang first nga index, okay, or we specify there 0 kay mao man nga to ang first index diha. Okay, so first name mi, then tapos dot you space, then iyahang last name plus space ana di ay. Okay, you were born in, okay, yan na pong birthday, that is birthday. Okay, you could simply birthday plus paman and you. Okay, now if taas na kaayo dere, okay, if it will definitely happen nga manglapas sa width. Okay, what you can do is you could force that to be added in dere. Okay, but you need to write backslash there. Okay, I think so. Let's try if wala. Okay, let's try if ingani na to. And you are now age niya, age years old. Okay, then remember, whenever you're going to do something like this, dapat tanan dere is string. I think age is computed here as an integer. Okay, so we need to cast that into string. Okay, so let's check if mogana ni. Okay, okay, so mogana ra di ay. So you need not have it like this. Well, let's try if na ani, if it will cause an error. Okay, wala man. Okay, but just to be safe, if you are forcing a new line kay in your print statement, pwede ninyo butang ading ani. Okay, but in this case wala man, kaya di na nato katanggalan. Okay, it's much better nga nana diha. So kana sakto, di ba? So, as you can see, medyo tedious ni siyang procedure. Okay? Other ways to do this is ingani. Okay? There are two ways that I'm going to add. So, kani. Ato na ning kopyahon. Excuse. Okay? Going to copy this. Now, this is going to be more readable. Okay? Somewhat. Now, what you're going to do is, ato aning, di ba? Di man to we need to change this sa yung variable. So, how do we do that? In this procedure, okay, ako asang isulat daan ha, percentage %s dayon akong ginapulihan ang katong na mga variable, okay, with %s, okay, kanipod %s, then kani, it's not s but d. Okay, now these are placeholders. Okay, so they behave somewhat like variables, but in a sense nga sa ato ang print statement. Okay, now this will hold, okay, this will hold variables, okay, or this will represent variables. So how do you, okay, how do you incorporate the variables here? Okay, you cannot simply do it like this. Okay, what you need to do next is ingani. Okay, you're going to add a % there, then enclose in parenthesis, ibutang ninyo in order ang gusto ninyo nga makita. Okay, so %s, these are string data type, placeholders of string data type nga variables. Okay, whereas %d, okay, that is for integer. Okay, nay uban, okay, there are still other placeholders. Okay, I think na pa %g. Okay, now let's see sa itsura na. Okay, Python placeholders in print. Okay, okay, so na dere. I think this is it. DS, okay. So na uban kani. So kana. So we'll just discuss more that in details, okay, whenever we encounter this scenario. Okay, so, but sa karon we're dealing with strings and integer man. Okay, so dapat in order unsa man yung una nga s, so that should be your first name, then this should be separated by comma. Sa may sunod, that should be mi, sunod, that should be last name, kaning dere, last name, then kani, that is your birthday, then finally you have your age. Okay, so let's try if this will work. Wala ko ni panason para ma-compare na to if parehas ra ba gyud. Okay, so as you get to see, parehas ra. Okay, there is still another much easier way, okay, and also a much more readable way. Okay, so ingani, still print kaya ito ang gina-output. By the way, you could store this in a variable. Okay, let's say kung gusto ninyo nga i-store sa ninyo sa variable, then print, pwede gihapon. Okay, first is if you're going to use this format, okay, dapat na ay f diha. Okay, do not include that din nga na. Diri day na to ibutang ang ato ang somewhat similar to this, okay, but more straightforward. Okay, so ato aning kopyahon. Okay, let's just copy this. Kana. But here, okay, mas dali na. Since what we're going to do is we simply, okay, in between curly braces, okay, ibutang nato ang variable. Okay, so first name, then dere, okay, di raman natong kuan ni. Okay, so curly braces na siya ha. So mi, then This should be last name. Then kani, this should be birthday. Then should be age. Ingana na dayon. Okay? No need for you to specify this. Okay? Ingani naman. So you get to see, this is much more readable. Okay? Mas dali siya i-compose. Okay? Let's say if you are going to create a longer statement than this. Okay? But let's see if mugana ni. Wala error. Importante kaya po na nga na yung mga spaces. Okay? So let's clear this out. Then run. Kulag ko an. Okay? Essentially, maura na sila. Okay? So, kana. So, I hope you, okay, you get understand what I've demonstrated to you. Okay? So, kani, okay, gi-parse lang na. Okay, there are many ways or there are many instances in which you're required to parse a string. Okay? Let's say, gi-require mo nga, kani, ipakuha ang province, province, or ipakuha ang municipality, ipakuha ang kuan. So, you could easily do that by observing the pattern, okay? Or observing the data. Na nala mo delimiter or nala mo timailhan, okay? Then you could just extract that. Okay? So, I'll end this video here. So, hopefully you get to understand. And kani, pwede niyo ni gamit-gamiton. Okay? And also naapay uban, okay? Dili man ingon nga you should always use this. There are instances nga ideal ni. Okay? There are instances nga ideal pod ni, okay? So feel free to experiment and research more. Okay? Especially ingani napa ni siya uban. Okay? If you want to display data nga certain number of decimal places sa float, so nana siya diri. Okay? So, I'll give that to you as your assignment na lang, okay? Or for you to work on, okay? Or to research. Okay, so that would be all. See you for our next set of lecture videos.